Can we talk about lies, rumors, and lies?
Lies and rumors and lies.
As a society, we are often quick to believe the worst about people we don't like and the best about people that we like. As a culture, my black people, it is a sad trap that we should not fall into because as a people, we were often at the worst end of those assumptions. And I am very open about my Christianity, and we're falling into the same pit and trap that had the Almighty Jesus crucified. If you want to know what I'm talking about, then pull up a chair, have a seat, and let us converse. Hello, one and all. This is Tucker, the conversation starter. And the intro should have piqued your interest. Where exactly am I going with this, and what exactly am I talking about?
Enlighten me.
I am talking about the he said, she said issue that we have, particularly in America. Now, if you've watched anything under the old banner, under Free Mind Thinkers, two things I want to make clear. Number one is that I know, as for myself, my brothers did too, we voted for Trump. So let's get that out the way now. And two, we encourage everyone to think for yourselves, which means take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. And that even comes from the commentary, comments, and opinions of this very channel. Take it all with a grain of salt. Do your own research and make up your own mind. That is the entire point here. Now, this isn't going to be a outright defense of President Trump. It really speaks to a broader context about society and us as a whole. And that is, why is it that we are so quick to believe something negative about people that we dislike and so quick to believe everything positive about people that we do like?
Good question.
It's become a very interesting thing. And this kind of spawns from a family Bible study class when we talked about judging people and how one of the things that affects our judgment is whether we like someone or not. And that should not be a major factor. Now, if you want to give someone the benefit of the doubt, I get it. But that should not affect how you translate their actions.
Please, go on.
An example, I may like Joe Blow. Joe Blow may be a good dude. If I see Joe Blow breaking into houses and stealing cars, he's a thief, no matter how much I like him. I can like him a lot, but I hate thieves. Equally, it could be somebody you despise, but if you see them volunteering and helping the community with all their free time, then they obviously have a good heart. So often, especially in politics, particularly in politics, we don't think on our own. And when I say we in this context, I want to talk about two groups, and that is the, what do they call the millennials coming up, this younger generation, everyone 30 and younger. And then I have my people, black folks.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.
It is a sad thing to let the media and talking heads and people that you like give you your opinion.
God damn it! You damn right!
That's not right. It's not fair. maybe it's me, maybe I am the only person that has ever experienced this in life, but have you ever had people hate you, disparage you, think ill about you, and never get to know you? Or they have their mind poisoned against you and they see one thing that you do that they didn't like taken out of context, which proves the point that other people said about you, right?
No, he's got a point.
As a society, as people, as a culture, it's not cool. I remember growing up in the 80s, particularly, and I remember having to be on my best behavior because how I behaved could reflect on an entire race of people. Was it fair? No. Was it the way it was? Yes. Being raised by a mother who overcame her fair share of racism and a grandmother who, Lord knows, overcame. My grandmother was raised a sharecropper in East Texas. So they've seen what racism is. And they knew how anytime one black person got out of line, how that spread into all black people are bad.
Hand to God.
And I say this about society today. They have done, they being the media and the left wing, have done an outstanding job poisoning the minds of a lot of Americans to hate Donald Trump.
And that's a fact.
Now, remember what I said. This isn't a protect Donald Trump. I'm just using him for another example. And right now, he's the biggest example. Vilified for, yes, some of the stuff he says is just out of pocket, out of line. He doesn't speak presidentially. He still speaks as that man at a business deal trying to make the best deal for himself. He still speaks like that. He's just rough around the edges.
No shit, Sherlock.
But that doesn't negate the things that he's done. That doesn't negate the fact that he, for intents and purposes here, saved HBCUs during his first term.
What?
That doesn't negate the fact that what he did to release low-level African Americans out of the prison system was something that he did in his first term.
Wow. Okay.
There are things that Donald Trump has done, a lot of things that Donald Trump has done, but won't get discussed. And I look at it through, I guess at this point, a biblical and spiritual lens, because he came along and he bucked the system. Donald Trump has never been a politician.
I mean, that's true.
If you go back and find some of his old interviews back in the 70s and 80s, Donald Trump more closely related to the Democrats.
In many cases, I probably identify more as a Democrat.
But over time, the Democrat Party got a little, okay, I'm sugarcoating. They lost their damn mind.
Yep.
So he became a Republican, but understand, Donald Trump understood politics. He knew the system as a whole was flawed. Did y'all not forget what that man did at the primaries when he was trying to win the Republican vote to run for presidency on the Republican ticket? But one person called Donald Trump out, and they tried to blast him by saying, that man gave to the Democrat Party. You can't trust him. Donald Trump calmly and swiftly said,
if I ask them, if I need them, most of the people on this stage I've given to, just so you understand. I will tell you that our system is broken. I give to many people. Before 2 months ago, I was a businessman. I give to everybody. When they call, I give. And you know what? When I need something from them, 2 years later, 3 years later, I call them. They are there for me. And that's a broken system.
Donald Trump ran on cleaning up the swamp. the swamp being DC, being built on the Potomac. And there were people on both sides that simply couldn't have that. They could not have that man exposing how things are really run, how even though the people elected them, they are not giving a damn about the people. And that is why you see such a swift character assassination about Donald Trump. Most things that they have thrown at Donald Trump, you don't have to like it, but they are factual, have been fabricated and false. I want y'all to think about all the things that they threw at Donald Trump and how they perpetuated it and kept it in the headlines, but rarely do they tell you how those things end.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because 90% of them ended in favor of Trump because it was all bogus BS. But it is still being told and perpetuated out there that he is the great evil, that he will bring down this nation. And it's based in nonsense and nothingness. And I don't see why we as a society, particularly us as a culture, buy into it. And in the intro, I said it's very Jesus Christ like. Now, let me pause here because I know some people are already seething, pissed off. There's a young black man, okay, not young, there's a black man who actually voted for Donald Trump.
How dare you?
For starters, I vote for people, not parties. I bounce back and forth, whoever has the best policies. Two, I am not calling Donald Trump Jesus Christ.
Hell no.
I am saying his treatment is very much the same way that they crucified Jesus Christ. Allow me to elaborate. Jesus Christ came here, and he came here with the mission to save souls. But what he was bringing was a change in the system to what had been the way that people got through to God. When you do your Bible research, you must understand that the only way, and Catholicism still does this, the only way to be absolved for your sins was to go through the priest. There was the slaughtering of an innocent lamb to absolve people of sins. It's a whole thing. I implore you all, do your biblical research. But the short version is you had to go through the priest to get absolution, to get a connection with God. You used the priest. Now here comes this guy, born of a carpenter, very humble, very lowly, telling everyone that you don't need to go through the priest now.
What the hell did you just say?
Follow these steps and you can commune with God personally, one-on-one.
No way.
Do you understand how much of a shock and a disruption and how much of a disturbance there was at that time? Do you know how many priests, as in today, do you know how many priests are lauded and revered and uplifted, upheld and boosted and held in high reverence just because they are priests? So think about what it was then. You have these men that are being held in high regard, and now you're telling them that the thing that makes them them, the thing that makes them stand out, is now being taken away from you. I've often said this in Bible classes. Jesus Christ was the first political assassination. Okay, maybe not the first, but you get where I'm going here. Jesus Christ was a major political assassination. They kept trying to get things on him. They could find nothing. Remember what I just said about Donald Trump? They keep trying to get things on him. Things keep falling apart.
Aha!
And that's my point about the similarity in techniques and in principle between the way Jesus Christ was crucified, the way Jesus Christ was convicted, and the way they perpetually try to get Donald Trump. He's not a perfect man, but he's not the evil that is being portrayed. And I say all that to say this: as people, We need to stop that as a whole, especially my black folks. Maybe this generation here doesn't remember. I clearly do. I remember what it was like having to watch the news and you see a black man's face flashed on the news for some heinous crime. And you knew how police were going to look at all of us for X amount of time because of that.
Yep.
I remember these things. I'm not talking about this fake pseudo racism that they are complaining about today. I'm talking about the real deal. And we have gotten to a point where we have now become what we have despised.
Preach!
As people, we have to do better. We cannot just blindly go on the words of others.
That's right.
And judge anybody. That means from the president to the guy at the corner store. I judge people on my own personal interaction with them, not because of what I've heard. I am going to let that person's actions dictate what I think about them and how I treat them. And that's how it should be for each and every last one of us. Don't go just on the words. Go on your own personal experience. Because what one person's experience is with something or someone may not be your experience.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
So keep that in mind. The next time you hear positive or negative about someone you like or dislike, stop, take your time, judge for yourself. Well, thanks for sitting down and having this little chit chat with me. Remember that this is a back and forth conversation. So before you leave, drop your 2 cents down in the comments below. Tell me what you think about all this. Are you someone who unrighteously judges people? Or do you take them by what you see and are not influenced by what you heard? If you like this conversation, hit that thumbs up. If you really liked it and want to get in on more conversations like this, then hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and you won't miss out on the next one. And until the next time, keep the conversation going, and I'll see you around.